Another day, another time. Let me just make sure everybody's muted. Okay, dale. Oh, wait. Danny, it's not letting me mute you. Can you please mute yourself? But we're going to get into it today. I'm really excited about this call. Like I said, it's going to be a pretty hefty call. I have 4 pages of notes that I want to get through with you guys. I am going to save it. It's obviously going to be recorded. It's already being recorded. And it's going to be posted on YouTube. So I could just text you guys the YouTube link so you guys have it for future reference. But clearly it's end of month. So we're going to be talking about getting money right now. These last few days of the month, officially last 6 days of the month. We're talking about getting money right now. We're also talking about setting up your pipeline for October. So what we're going to start this call off today is with business basics, right? Right at the beginning. So there are 2 keys that you need for your business basics. 1, and the most important key right now in everybody's business is that you need an audience. So what do I mean by this? You have to get uncomfortable and you need to get feedback. So that means that you guys need to be able to put yourself on the front end of your business. We talk about this all the time. You guys are your business. You are your brand. We need you to show your face. We need you to talk about this opportunity. We need you to talk about your brand, your personal brand. We need you to talk about the products. And then when you're doing it, you need to make sure that you're doing it in front of an audience. Because first of all, you're going to be your own hardest critic. So if you sit here and you just record yourself, you're going to record yourself and record yourself and record yourself, and you're never going to post anything. So start testing the waters going live. Start asking your audience on your platform what they're looking for, what their feedback is, what could be better, whatever it may be. Because you need to start hearing feedback from third parties and getting out of your own head, right? The second thing is we need to stop setting end goals. No more, I'm going to hit SCG in a year. No more, I'm going to be a millionaire in 2 years. Because you're setting restrictions for yourself. Like, sis, you could be a millionaire tomorrow. Like, that's how real this opportunity is. It takes one good lick. So stop setting limitations on yourself and start realizing that you have to come from a place of abundance, because this shit could happen way sooner if you allow yourself to come from a position of abundance. So stop setting your limitations, because you need to have a reflection of yourself to see how capable are you really? How capable are you really? I had an amazing conversation with Jay, who's on my downline. She's also sitting right here. We were talking about a whole new number that we learned today. That's how infinite it is. So what are you capable of, right? Also understanding you need to stop setting your end goals and just focusing on Monet. Because when you started this business, you became a business owner, which means that you are your own brand. So just understanding that this is not just Monet, but you are your business. So what is it that you want in life, right? So when you're prospecting, you're selling the fact that this is not a false dream. Oh, you could be a millionaire in 2 years. You're not selling that fact. You're selling your fact that this is your ticket to self-development to get you where you dream to be in life. If you use it accordingly, if you use it to educate yourself, if you use it to personally develop yourself, if you use it to network, and if you stop coming from a place of lack and you start coming from a place of abundance and you stop setting hard end goals for yourself. Because the only thing you're doing is setting a ceiling for yourself. You're making yourself plateau. And we're not about that life, because we're building generational wealth, which means that our numbers are literally endless. They're going to go on for centuries. So we need to start focusing in that manner, right? So now let's talk. Now we talked about the basics. That's the forefront. I know we just started that call. We just started this call up crazy. I'm coming crazy. That's how I really feel. So let's get it. Now we're going to talk about end of month. You guys need to be having 3 focuses for the end of this month to finish the month to get this bag, right? Number 1, prospecting for your first week of October. I need you guys to put into perspective the fact that when it comes to business and when it comes to this business, it's scalable. The average return, the average clientele to close out a cart, the average person to become a market partner with you, it takes about 14 days to do that. So start creating your pipeline right now for the first week of October, for your closes for the first week of October. That's how we have to be thinking. Building a foundation to snowball off of, this way we can make money, right? Second thing you should be focusing on is following up. If there was anybody this month, last month, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, last summer, whenever you started, that was a potential. that had a cart in their hand that didn't close out, that sent you a message about a post that you posted about your shampoo, that had a question about the opportunity, that supported you in whatever you did, that reposted you. All of those people we should be following up with right now. We got 6 days. They're already interested. That means that the first few days of the 14-day process, they kind of accelerated. So let's try to lock those in right now for this month. The third thing and the last focus that you guys should be focusing on is closing your pipeline. What does that mean? Ask for the sale. Now we're not beating around the bush. We're businesswomen. We're businessmen. We're about our money. And the only way that we could be about our money is if we literally ask for the sale. No more Mr. Nice Guy, right? So let's talk about actions to take. The first action that you guys should be taking is, how are you utilizing your social media? All right, guys. And this is something that is super, super important, and it has to start today. I want you guys to be thinking, is my next post shareable? You guys have to be able to scale your own business. And what I mean by shareable is the content that you're putting on your page valuable enough for somebody to repost it? For somebody to promote your brands, for somebody to promote your business, for somebody to be engaged? Is it shareable? Are you bringing value? Are you educating? Are you passing on knowledge? And it could be as simple as educating somebody on how to properly open up a Monet bottle. Shirley did that video when I had first started with the company, and how the bottle actually, I don't even know. I just open. You know what I'm saying? That's bringing value. You guys. That's bringing value, right? And that's shareable content, because at the end of the day, if I didn't know that and Shirley's on my sideline, best believe I reposted that video for my VIPs to see, or I sent it to my VIPs. Now think beyond Monet and making your feed shareable content. What are you passionate about? I don't know if you guys recognize, but I'm going to speak for myself. My father sends me Bible quotes every single morning that he directly texts to hundreds of people, that people who don't even know, they just ask for it, and he does. My shareable content is making his word that pushes me through my everyday available for anybody in my feed to view. And when they view it and it resonates with them, they share that. I'm bringing knowledge, I'm bringing value, I'm bringing valuable shareable content, right? We need to stop wanting likes, stop wanting recognition, and start wanting money, right? So if you have shareable content and you have 500 followers, but the value that you brought to your page, it was valuable to me, and I think that it would be super valuable for another person here, I'm going to repost it, and I have 5,000 followers. Now you have 5,500 followers, 5,500 potentials. Think of it that way, right? You need to stop. Another thing that I want to talk about social media is we need to kind of remove ourselves from the celebrity aspect of it. We're not experts. We're not celebrities. We're real people. We're trying to get this money. We're trying to break generational curses. We're going through our own experiences. We're learning something new every day. We're mentoring as we're students. So be transparent in that. So stop focusing on trying to be the celebrity, trying to be the expert, and start focusing on, how can I bring value, actual value to people's lives? What do I actually have to offer to bring to the table to help other people progress? And a few pages that I want you guys to use as like an inspo and a reference. And these are different types of references, but just so that you guys can understand what I mean by shareable content. Everybody knows, well, not everybody, but most people know Gary Vee. His content is super duper shareable and friendly, super motivational. He is a mentor, all that good stuff. And he's real, he's raw, he's himself. Another great person in this business that has shareable content is Christy Stone. If you guys don't follow her, I highly recommend you following her. Christy Stone, C-R-I-S-T-I, Christy Stone. Fire. Her content is super shareable. Another page that we're very familiar with is The Shade Room. How do you think they're getting sponsorships? Because their content is shareable. They're like the TMZ of Instagram. We know all the cheese and all the tea because of them. Another great person to look at this is B. Simone. She started off her entire career in comedy, getting on Wild and Out, all that good stuff on Instagram by making videos that were funny and relatable, so people shared them. Think about the Cake Boss. I used to work there because I'm from Jersey City, but think about him. When I started off and when I was working there in high school, they had just started the show. And then it became shareable. They were bringing value. They were bringing laughs. They were bringing it, just, you know what I mean? People started sharing it. Think about Playboy. Shareable content. So putting things into perspective, we need to stop focusing about likes and start focusing on money. More people view your products, more people view your business, more people view your personal brand, more clients are coming your way, right? So stop focusing on likes. Second thing that you have to do in forms of action is consistency. And you guys always hear it, and you guys will always hear it, and I will always say it, because strength is in not giving up. There is never going to be a point in your life, if your goals are as big as they're supposed to be, where you can stop. You have to keep going. There is more. This is infinite, right? So being consistent is so important. Even when you feel like you're not receiving the return that you think you should receive. We discussed this. Business, this scalable business, Monet, 14-day turnaround. So you have to be consistent every day. We have to start posting permanently on our feed and on our pages. Instagram stories are lit because they get you a lot of traction right away throughout the day. But your page is your resume. So when somebody's clicking through your Instagram story and you have a whole bunch of things to sell on your Instagram story, but then they click on your page and they see your dog and you in a bikini and, you know, random shit that nobody really focuses on, it doesn't put two and two together that you are the businesswoman that you're projecting yourself to be. So let's start doing shareable content that is permanent on our pages. Bring people to our resumes. Our bios better look popping so that people can see we are businesswomen. We are businessmen. We are our brand. We are business owners. We are entrepreneurs. Every single day, non-negotiable, right? Also, this marks how you're growing. And again, I'm going to speak for myself as an example. I don't know if anybody peeped on my Instagram story, but 2 days ago, I started my journey back with doing yoga. I was in a really bad car accident last February, and I have not worked out since then. I've just been doing physical therapy. So I am rusty. And this is a very vulnerable place for me because I played basketball my entire life. I played in college. I was always an athlete, working out 5-6 times a week, always extremely healthy. So I'm definitely in a vulnerable place. But I'm marking my growth. I'm going live every single morning while I'm doing my yoga and my meditation. So not only are people seeing where I'm at in my current process, but a month from now, I'll be able to look back on my videos and see like, damn, I've really grown. Think back to my last training call when I talked about how this is a 6-month savings account, right? Both financially, emotionally, and spiritually. So mark your growth. Not only that, I know as a businesswoman, I'm setting myself up. What's getting shipped to me this week? My wellness package. Best believe I've been going live all week about my journey getting back into yoga. Best believe after my yoga, I'm gonna go on my story, drink my greens, drink my collagen, drink my wellness, whatever. It's all tying into each other. My CBD duo, all over my Instagram right now, especially as I'm growing through my yoga. Being business savvy, right? The third thing, and I personally feel like this is the most important thing, and I feel like this is what I'm seeing a lot of people in my downline or my sidelines are struggling with, and that's being clear. Be clear. I have a question to ask every single person on this call, every single person that watches this recorded call, and I really need you guys to not answer with me, but to not lie to yourself and answer to yourself. Are you proud of your own brand? Genuinely. Are you proud of what you're doing? Are you proud of being an entrepreneur? Are you proud of being a businesswoman? Are you proud of owning your own business, being a businessman? Are you proud of your own brand? Because if you are, you would say it with your chest. You guys see me when I go on Instagram Live. Oh, what do? I'm a local realtor. I work in New Jersey. I work in my own community. I work doing this, that, and the third. And I'm a market builder with Monet. People are so afraid to say that they work for Monet. Why?
I'm so proud.
You're so proud. Yes. Be so proud. You have to be so proud about it. You have to be so proud about it. Right? While also still understanding that it's a marketing game. So when it comes to your feed, you don't want to have shampoo bottles all over the place. Like, you don't want to be a salesy person, but be proud that this is one of your legs, and be honest in your process on how you're utilizing it. Be clear. And the best example that I could use for this is, like, have you ever dated somebody that really wasn't shit and you never posted them because you wasn't proud of them? Don't do that to your business, right? Don't do that to your business. Be proud of it. It's yours. It's your baby. It's your name. Who cares what anybody thinks about your relationship with your business? They're not paying you. Stop focusing on likes and start focusing on the bag. Start focusing on money, right? So when people ask you, what do you do? And now we're going to segue into actually closing for these next 7 days. And I'm going to give you guys, I'm putting y'all onto the game right now. We're going to talk about a script. This is how I communicate in my calls, that I communicate with my potentials, whether they're VIPs or market partners. So this is a really good time for you guys to take down notes. Like I said, it's going to be recorded, so you guys will be able to go back and reference it. But what do? You do your outreach, you do your first touches, you utilize your hashtag. That's a whole other call. What we're talking about right now is actually engaging in conversation. So as you're engaging in conversation, you introduce yourself. What's going to happen? Your potential is going to ask you, what do you do? When your potential asks you what you do, how do you respond? Again, be clear. Are you proud of your personal brand? Oh, I am a vegan skin and hair consultant. Okay, sis, but what is that? But what do you do? I'm asking you what you do. So when people ask me what I do, I say, oh, I am a full-time New Jersey realtor and I am a market builder with Monet. Monet is the fastest growing beauty brand to date. Have you heard of it? Add value to that statement. What do you do? Because 9 times out of 10, right now in our own communities, we know that a lot of people are recognizing Monet. If we started to branch out of our own communities, there's a way higher percentage of people who don't even know what this is. But if you're interacting with somebody who knows about the brand, they already have their own type of view on it based off of either a first-hand or a second-hand experience. And we're going to get into that. So I say, oh, I'm a market builder with Monet, the fastest growing beauty brand to date. Have you heard of it? And they'll tell you. They'll tell you, oh, yes, I haven't heard of it, or whatever. So after you say, they're like, okay, I help with X, Y, and Z. And what is your expertise in this business? So when I talk to my potentials, like, I work the brand primarily to mentor entrepreneurs, to be able to build their own brands and use this as a leg of income in their company. But I also am in love with the products. So I help people to also find what will work best for them, because it's vegan skin and hair care. It's the switch you should have already been made. This portion, I help with X, Y, and Z, is catered to your personal brand and business. This is something you guys have to develop on your own. I can't give you a script for that part because it's you. You are your business. So where are you bringing value, right? After you say, I help with X, Y, and Z, you're going to close that statement out. Now, this is duplicatable with, have you ever thought of making extra money off of Instagram? And you're going to get one of 2 answers. That closing statement is demanding either a yes or a no answer. You're controlling the conversation. You're a businesswoman. You're closing, you're asking for the sale. So you're directing it in the way that you need it to go. So you're asking for either a yes or a no. So when they say yes, automatically, where does your mind go? 9 times out of 10. If the person's like, oh yes, I've always thought about, I want to make extra money off of Instagram. Automatically like, okay, let's lock you in. Here's my link. Skirt. That's how you get ghosted. That's how sales don't get closed. So we need to get out of that mind frame to get so excited and eager to lock them in, and understand that you're still in a process of figuring out not only would they be interested in what you're offering, would they be a good client, would they be a good market partner, but in the same breath, you're figuring out if that's the type of VIP that you want. Is this somebody that's going to give you a problem when their flagship is coming up? Or are they fully educated on what's happening within this transaction? Is this a market partner that doesn't exactly know what she's getting into? Or are they fully educating on what value you're bringing to the table as a mentor and what's within your own process, right? So instead of rushing into, okay, let's lock you in, when they say yes, you should be focusing on, okay, well, what businesses have you thought of doing, right? So we're going to stop and we're going to pause on the yes, because we're going to get more into the secondary part. And we're going to go into if somebody tells you no. So have you ever thought of making extra money off of Instagram? And they're like, no. What's automatically our first response? Well, why not? Skirt. That is not the response that you want to give. That's how you get ghosted, right? Instead of saying, well, why not? Say, that's amazing. Would you be interested in making money on top of what you're already doing? Would you benefit off of getting extra income with your current stance, with what you're currently doing? Because people could be up. You don't know who you're talking to. Maybe they don't need an extra leg of income. I'm trying to be there too. Then you need to learn from them. But if they're not, and they could use the extra income, ask them, like, would you be interested in making extra money on top of what you're already doing? Now we're gonna get into the conversation. So whether it's a yes or a no, we're still funneling them down to the fact that they're answering yes, right? Because if they say off the top, if they say yes, well, what business have you thought about doing? They're gonna explain to you what businesses they want to get interested in, or what exactly their interests are, so much so that they want to develop their own brand about it. If they say no, and you ask them, would they like to make extra money on top of what they're doing, they're still saying yes, of course they would like to make extra money. Also, if they have in their head to open up other businesses, of course they want to make extra money. They have bigger plans for themselves than to be a 9-to-5 type of a person. So you know you're funneling down to the yes, and now we're getting to the actual meat of the conversation, right, guys? So when we get into the meat of the conversation, that's when we get into rebuttals. I love rebuttals. I'm not gonna stunt. I always do training calls on rebuttals. I love them because I always know my way around them, because I am proud of my business and I trust in this brand and I trust in the products. I'm using them. I trust in the money that I'm making. I trust in my potential to grow. I know that this is my ticket. I know it, right? So the first one, when you get into the meat of the conversation, the first rebuttal that you normally face is a product parody. So that's normally, obviously, on the product. It's normally a rebuttal on the products. They bring up a competitor, or they say it has or it does this. It has sulfates in it, or it makes your hair fall out, right? So normally off the bat, when we're faced with this, we automatically think to respond in a way that bashes what they're speaking of. We either try to bash the competitor, saying that they're nowhere near. We try to bash their point of view. When you're working with a client, when you're working with a potential, you have to really put yourself in the mind frame that you have to make this a comfortable conversation. So understanding their point of view, understanding human nature, how did they come to this conclusion? Why do they feel this way? Right? On top of that, bashing anything is a no in business. It is a no in business. You're a business owner. You are your own business owner. This is your name. This is your brand. Do you want to be known to be the chisme business owner, or do you want to be known to be the person that's about their money? And that shows growth within personal businesses and brands. That's what's going to differentiate somebody that has the potential to be a millionaire overnight and somebody that has the potential to stay stagnant and comfortable in their own ways, right? So we never bash anything. The way we should be responding is, I love that you're educated on this. You could go so much further. You could be so successful. You already know about it. You already either know about the products, since you're giving you a product rebuttal. You already know what it has in it. You already know that there's been different things about it. You already know about competitors, which means you know about other beauty brands, you know about other wellness brands. That's important. You already have a skeleton to work off of. You could be super successful in this, right? So you're agreeing with them and what they're doing with the product parity. That's a way to debunk that and to get over that rebuttal. The second thing that you want to do is you want to pick their brains on what they actually know. And I put no in parentheses because if they have never done the business personally firsthand, and they have never done the business under your mentorship program firsthand, this business, Monet, under your mentorship, then they really don't know what you're offering. So you guys need to have more of an understanding of the information that they already have in their head, why they already feel a type of way. This way, you can give them the value that they need to hear. And this is where a lot of the times we struggle and where we get uncomfortable, because we want to just blurt out a whole bunch of information. And that's not the way to go about business. A good business person, a good businessman, like you guys know I do real estate, right? You have to ask questions. Constantly be asking questions. Let them, you literally are finding when you're in sales, you're offering solutions. You have to know what they need fixing with. You have to know what they need help with. You have to know what it is the solution is. So the first question that you want to ask them is, how long have you been thinking about either making money, extra money, wanting to be your own boss, being an entrepreneur, or joining a network marketing company? Monet is not the only network marketing company. So people think because of other network marketing companies, they know what Monet has to offer, and it's a completely different animal. This is not Avon. This is not Herbalife. This is not Isogenics tea. This is not flat tummy tea. This is a completely different animal. This is not Forex. This is none of that. So ask them, how long have you been thinking about either making money or joining another opportunity? Ask them, have you previously been presented this opportunity? Have you previously been presented Monet by somebody? Have you previously been presented a network marketing company by somebody? Have you previously been presented a side hustle by somebody? Get to know more of that information, right? If they have previously been presented an opportunity, and this is something that I love to do, ask them, if you had started that opportunity when it presented to you, do you think up to this date you would have seen either money or any type of results, whether it's personal development? And they're going to tell you yes, right? If they had started this opportunity when it was presented to them 6 months ago, do they think they would have made a return? Of course they're going to tell you yes. Yeah, I would have made money. I probably would have developed. I probably would have learned a new skill, right? So this is when you mind fuck them. And this is my favorite part, because again, as a good salesperson, you have to understand this is a fluid conversation. So if you ask them if they had started this opportunity when it was presented to them, whatever, would you have seen results? And they tell you yes. So, well, you should stop missing out on the opportunity. Then you should join that opportunity that was originally presented to you. In that little mindfuck that you offer to them, they're going to reflect and they're going to word vomit, tell you why they didn't join that opportunity. You're digging, you're picking their brain for more information, right? But you're also letting them know that nothing great comes from indecision. You're asking for the sale. You get what I'm saying? You're not being salesy. You don't sound like a salesman. You're having a real conversation. You're looking out for their best interests. But you're also showing we have something better to offer, something that you've never seen before, right? So now that we did all that prefacing, we're going to get into a short close script real quick. So these are some good notes. I numbered them. It's 1 through 6. Short close script. This is the script you want to be using right now in these 7 days. We need to accelerate the process a little bit, because if we're not closing right now for this month like we need to make sure that we're closing for first week of October. No excuses. Like our numbers should be crazy come first week of October because of how hard we're going to be going for these next 6 days, right? So the first thing that you want to do when you're doing a short close, after you've done all that investigating, background information, all the stuff we just spoke about, is you want to ask for a time commitment, right? So after you've sat here and you said the last thing we talked about, what was the exact? Nothing great comes from indecision. Can I pick your brain for 10 minutes so I can really tell you about this opportunity? Do you have 10 minutes to allot to this conversation real quick so I can really tell you about what I have to offer? Why I think you would add value to my network? And when they do, they're like, sure, yeah, I got 10 minutes. Now you've locked in a 10-minute time span to have them engaged. So in this 10 minutes, we're not only gonna ask for the close, we're also gonna have whatever it is that we're offering sent over to them for them to close out in this 10 minutes, right guys? So after you ask for the time commitment, let's kind of interrupt the pattern. Don't smell like a salesman. Be like, okay, dope, cool, thank you for your time. So how was your day? It's 9 o'clock at night. Like, what did you do for the rest of the day today? How was work today? Get to know a little bit more about them. Shift the conversation a little bit. Break the tension. Like, oh, I saw on your Instagram you have a dog. I have a dog too. That's really dope. How old is it? What's his name? Shift the conversation, right? After you shift the conversation, you're gonna find out where their interest lies. So after you've had that little blurb about, oh, whatever, how was your day? They're like, okay, that's dope. Yeah, that's really dope. Why? So I have a question. Why did you decide to jump on this call with me? Like, what made you interested in engaging in this conversation with me? And they're going to tell you, they're going to be transparent because you're asking them. Well, I've seen that you've been posting about it this whole time, and I've seen how much of progress you had on your hair, so I was a little bit interested. Oh, my cousin does Monet. She talks about it, every once in a while, but she doesn't really give too much information, and I see you know your shit. Right? So asking them where their interest lies. The third thing that you're going to do is ask if they had any past experiences with it. And this is when they're going to tell you their story. And this story can either be a first-hand experience or a second-hand experience. Second-hand experiences I love because I always done out the window. My cousin does Monet. She did Monet for 2 years ago, and she made no money from it. She wound up returning her product back. My aunt did Herbalife last year, and she just was so miserable. She had all these products. She didn't know what to do. Like, she wound up getting back for her money. My cousin did Avon, whatever it may be. Off the bat, if you know that they're giving you a secondhand experience, why they feel the way they did, and a lot of the times, these MLM haters on Instagram, like, it's always off of the secondhand experience. But if they tell you the secondhand experience, be like, oh, like, understand where they're coming from. Like, I apologize that happened to your cousin. But when they offer something completely different, we're nothing like Avon. You don't ever have to hold products. We're nothing like Herbalife. Everything is scientifically proven. And if it's a rebuttal that they're experiencing firsthand, maybe they tried Monet, maybe they tried Herbalife, and they weren't successful in it. What is separating your network, your mentorship, your opportunity from what they experienced previously firsthand? If it's another business, already we are nothing like any other brand, any other MLM. So where can you add value? If it was that they did Monet, get a little bit deeper into who they signed up with and discuss them. Like, I say this all the time, like, it's super important to be super picky with your upline. I apologize that you experienced that, but my direct upline, we're part of the 6% of the company that trains you to rank up. We have training calls every single day. We make sure that you're fully educated. Now you're pinpointing how you need to answer, right? So knowing what their past experiences are. Number four is your complete debunking. Why this is nothing like that. And I need you guys, again, this is the part that I can't have you guys copy and paste. It's personal to your own business and your own brand. Because it's the reason why you decided to join. It's the reason why you're in love with the brand. It's the reason why you're in love with the company. It's the reason why you're making money. It's the reason why you have VIPs. So be transparent about that, right? Number 5, ask them what they're currently doing. Now, 5 and 6, you should have a pad in front. If you're doing a FaceTime call or an in-person call, you should do a FaceTime. You should have a pad in front of you taking notes so that they see you. Thank you, Sasha. But so that they see you engaging in what they're actually saying. If it's text, you want to make sure that you're reiterating what they told you. And even on call, I always reiterate too, right? So you ask them, like, what do you do? Oh, I work as a teacher's aide, whatever. I work 40 hours a week, Monday through Friday. Okay, awesome. Write that down, right? How much money do you make, if you don't mind me asking? Like, where are you at? Oh, I make about $800 every week, right? Okay, cool. So you just told me that you put in 40 hours a week. You work 8 hours a day to make about $800 every single week, right? All right, dope. So now we're going down to number 6. If you were to join on to this opportunity, how much time could you put into this? You ask them, how much time can they allot to their own personal brand? How much time can you allot to being an entrepreneur? I could do based off of my other schedules. I have a kid, I have hobbies, I do this, that, and the third. I'm also working, I'm going to school, blah, blah, whatever. I could do an hour a day, 6 days a week. Okay, so you can work 6 hours a week. How much money are you looking to make with the business monthly? Oh, I want to make at least $5,000 a month with this business. This is the second time you're going to mind fuck them, right? When people tell me that they work a 9 to 5, they work 40 to 60 hours a week, and they make whatever money they make, and then they say that they can work this business for 6 hours a week, 10 hours a week, 15 hours a week, and make 3 times what they're making in their 9 to 5, I tell them, you know what? I don't think that this opportunity would be a good fit for you. Like, to be transparent with you, you just told me that you work 60 hours a week, you get paid $1,200 a week, and you want to work only 6 hours in this business to get paid 3 times that. It wouldn't be feasible, and I don't want to let you down as a mentor. I don't want to set you up in that way. You know, this is a business. It runs just like your 9 to 5 business. You know, if you're not putting in the hours that you need to, you can't expect an extreme return. It's entrepreneurship, right? And you're repeating to them exactly what they told you. So now this mindfuck, if you come to this point, can go one of 2 ways. One, they could be like, okay, cool, I guess it's not for me. And it's gonna stay in the back of their head. No matter what, even if they never join you, it will always stay in the back of their head, right? Because that's a self-reflection. Or it'll stay in the back of their head and they'll hit you up in a week or 2, or a month or 2, or a year or 2. And they'll be like, yo, I'm with it. Like, I'm with the shits. Like, I deserve this, right? Or in the conversation, they'll be like, wait. What do you mean it's not for me? Like, you're making money in it. Yeah, but I allot, my time to it. Like, okay, if you really, now you're going to sell them a solution. If you really want to make $5,000 a month with this business, I can definitely train you on our compensation plan. Do you have a time tomorrow that we can jump on a call? It'll take about an hour to really get into the logistics. I don't have time tomorrow, but I can jump on the call on Monday. Okay, perfect. Does 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. work better for you Monday? 8 p.m. works best. Perfect. I'll put you in the schedule. So now you're locking them into that commitment to learning about the compensation plan, because you're telling them that they're going to make what they're looking for, that you have the capability, if they invest in themselves, to make what they're looking for. Not only that, if that's not the rebuttal that they're offering you, then they're offering you 2 other rebuttals, which is they don't have the money. So if they don't have the money, do the same thing. Okay, I understand where you're coming from, but you do want a better life for yourself, right? So I can definitely send you over a video on how to make the return that you put in and some within your first month. We all have that Smart Start training video that teaches you how to make $1,500 within your first month with the business. You start a business for $200, $350, $800, and make $1,500. That's a return plus some. So that debunks, I don't have money to get started, right? The third thing is that, I don't know, shit feels like a pyramid scheme, right? Because that's, I don't trust it. It just feels like a pyramid scheme. Doesn't make sense, and I don't believe it. There's no way that these girls are getting rich. They're doing other things, da-da-da. Like, no, I don't believe it. No way off shampoo. And you explain to them. So what makes our company different as a network marketing company, you guys already know Monet is the fastest growing beauty brand to date. Only 5 years in the business, blowing it out the game, right? They do things differently. So instead of like all these other big brands, Walmart, Target, all that good stuff that put all the money that they make into marketing, the brand lets us market. We talk about it. We post about it. We share it. And they put all that money that they would put into marketing into their top producers' pockets. That's how this works. It's not a pyramid scheme. They just allocate their funds correctly, right? So after you guys do all that debunking, that's when you finally get into, have you ever heard of what Monet does? Have you ever really heard what Monet does? And this part is a 60-second part, again, that is catered to your own personal brands and businesses. So what do I mean by this? Have you heard of what Monet actually does? So what is it that interests you that Monet does? Is it the gratitude program? Is it how amazing the products have helped you and your son? Is it how you've gained confidence off of using these products? My number one, and what I feel like everybody's number one opportunity, you could talk about everything else first, but we're gonna close out. Have you ever heard of what Monet does? With the number one thing that Monet does, however, is this opportunity. This is the number one thing that Monet does. The opportunity to be fully in control of your income, the opportunity to be a part of this amazing network, to have a entire personal development coaching team with a compensation plan attached to it, a way to educate myself on how to start my own business, a way to copy and paste my own virtual business, However, that's the number one thing, this opportunity. And that's how you're going to close out within the next 7 days. So that's the call, guys. That was a lot of information. It definitely was a hefty call. Does anybody have any questions? You guys can unmute yourself. We could talk about it before I stop the recording. Anything to add? How did you guys feel?
I have a question, Coco. How do you like? I'm like right now talking to some girl in like Minnesota because I took Daniel G's advice and I like hashtagged acne. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I believe in the skincare so much. I believe in everything, but like I've seen 1,000% improvement in my skin. So I hashtagged acne and I found this girl in Minnesota and I just literally hit her up with like, I love your tag name and I love what your page is all about. Like, I love it. But I'm still like a little nervous on like how to bring up, like, how do you bring up Monet to strangers? Like, what advice can you give
Well,
for
normally
someone like that?
I looked over because Jay's sitting here, Jay on my downline. So she just like points her real quick. That's why I looked over. But initiating conversation, they're going to ask you what you do. Either you ask them what they do and then they'll follow up, okay, well, what is it that you do? Or they're going to come out the gate like, oh, I love your page too. What do you do? Like they're going to ask you what you do. And in the beginning of the call, I don't know if you were on or not, but in the beginning of the call, I touched on like the importance of being clear in what it is that you're doing. So when they ask you what you do, don't say, oh, I'm a vegan skin and hair consultant. Oh, I am a mentor. I'm a network marketing mentor. Or I work for an MLM company. Say, no, I'm a market builder with Monet, the fastest growing beauty brand to date, or whatever it is that resonates with you. Whatever that little portion is. I'm a builder with Monet, whatever. And then you're gonna follow up saying, I help with X, Y, and Z. And that's catered to your own brand too, right? So it's for you, Sasha. You would say that you own your own business. You know, I own my own business and I'm also a MMB with Monet. Or an MB with Monet. I'm sorry, I'm not sure where you are. I'm not sure where you are.
Yeah, MMB. Well, I'm not gonna re-rank this month, but yes, that's my career
but
rank.
that's your career rank, sis. So like you would say like, okay, but I'm also an MMB with Monet. I basically I assist with X, Y, and Z. I'm an esthetician. I'm a business owner. And what is it that you excel in Monet? You know, I'm also, if whatever you're pinpointing at. So if the potential is a VIP that you're trying to lock in, you know, I'm a vegan skin and hair consultant and I help people, you know, maintain their confidence back by natural beauty through wellness.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, or if it's like, if it's a market, be like.
I feel like we all have to find our.
It's personal.
Script.
It's personal to your.
Yes, we have to find our script, and that goes for everybody across the board. We have to find our own script. That's so important.
Yes.
So I'm happy that you touched base on that because for me, like I'm in the chat. Like if you hit MMB and there's a chat that Claudia and Lynn started, if you hit MMB and didn't re-rank, they put you in this chat. And they have us writing like a script of like who we are, how would we like, not a script, but like, they want us to like a video. And I feel like I just was writing everything down. But you know, when you write it down, it really makes you see who you are, what you're doing. You know, it's so important. It's so important.
And I think also too, just like you're saying, like it's important that you're writing your own script because we're not just Monet. So I feel like that's getting like lines were getting kind of fuzzy. Like we were trying to copy and paste what our upline was doing because they were successful in Monet, because their team, like the RB Gals group, the Real Deal group, the girls that are successful, they are just Monet. Our team is more diverse. We're not just Monet. We're estheticians, we're makeup artists, we're realtors. This is a stream. We sprinkle it within our own personal brands. So just being transparent in that and knowing that when you're marketing this opportunity, you're also marketing your personal brand. Like if nothing else, if all this network connection that you're making and outreaching that you're doing, if it doesn't close,
it's so good.
Yep. Should be closing any type of potential business for the future. Should be real connections, right?
Yep. Absolutely. No, it's true. I was just talking to one of my girls who sells soaps. You know, she's pretty new and I'm like, throw it in the chat. You know, she's a market partner. I'm like, I think, Christmas is coming up. People are going to be going to people's houses for Thanksgiving. Maybe you want to throw your gift baskets in there. I said, you have a huge network,
Hell yeah.
and that's another thing. We gained such a huge network, it's amazing. So thank you, Boo. I appreciate this phone call.
No, of course, I'm happy that you like it. Another thing, I'm happy that you brought this up. Chris M, everybody that is on this call, everybody here owns their own small business. Most of you guys own your own small business. Chris M is hosting an event in New York, October 18th. She's looking for vendors if people would like to be a part of it. So definitely one, jump on that opportunity. And two, we should all be showing out and supporting her. I'm definitely gonna go. If anybody in Jersey City wants to ride, I'll be happy to carpool with anybody. But October 18th is gonna be the event.
She reached out to me. I'm still trying to see what I do.
Oh, Sam, I didn't even know you were on the call. What's up, Sam? Not even like I'm looking at you.
I know.
Sorry, I'm like the baby's like sleeping and I'm trying not to wake her up, so that's why I'm like not speaking. But yeah, guys, it's October 18th. The spaces for the vendors are like completely taken already because I was only initially supposed to have 6 and there was like 3 more people who like asked me and I'm like, all right, yeah, like totally. But I am accepting, like, if anybody does want to contribute to a bigger raffle that I'm putting together for the event. And also, like, send me your business cards your way. I'm including all business cards inside of goodie bags.
Word. Word.
That's awesome, Chris.
I'm gonna come with a
Thank you. And also, I am going to have a photographer and videographer. So when you do attend, just come in your best attire. I want everyone to look beautiful, feel beautiful, and it's going to be a really great event.
Word. I'm excited. I'm hyped. Word.
Awesome.
Anybody,
I'm happy.
Anybody that needs riding jerky, I got you. Any other questions, guys? Anything else? Okay, pues dale. It's 9:30. I'm tired. Good night, and I will see you guys later.
Good night, Boo. Thank you.
Bye.